Game 4. Game 4 is coming up. Game 3, it was all Lewis University. The Flyers had their swerve back. They were hitting, they were blocking. They took Slabe out of the game. BYU looked confused. BYU hit 0. BYU going down. As the Lewis Flyers now hold a 2-1 lead, 1 game from their first ever national championship. BYU won Game 1, Lewis winning the next two, 30-27 and 30-21. Don't forget, Summit Racing Equipment, Southern Nationals from the Atlanta Dragway coming up immediately after volleyball. I'm Chris Marlowe along with Heather Cox. The teams have switched sides. BYU will serve it first.
And an interesting change by Coach Tom Peterson for BYU. They've actually flip-flopped their rotation, trying to get different rotations, different matchups so that they hit something above 0% in this 4th game. The other interesting note, Carlos Moreno, the starting All-American setter, is getting the start here in Game 4. No surprise.
Well, that's no-brainer.
Yeah, after Casey Patterson came in in the end, and I think Peterson took him out to give him a break, let him see the court, knew that they weren't going to come back in Game 3, and give Moreno some time to reflect and watch what was going on from the sideline.
I think good move by Tom Peterson to switch. Paul misses it. So Paul, after a very good Game 1, has been off a little bit in the last couple of games. His hitting percentage down to .222, Heather. 2-0 Lewis.
And BYU is a team that thrives on balance, which means in order to win, it's got to have all 5 of its hitters on the same night.
Paul and Rafael Paul, he has 8 hitting errors. So once again, as you compute the kills minus the errors divided by the attempts, he's getting his kills, but he's also racking up some errors, which cost points.
Right around 200. Needs to be, I think, about 300 to find success tonight.
Big blast inside.
And that's what Lewis has just been so good at all season.
Cut shot, wow. Bad pass, bad set, bad hit. 8-6 Lewis.
And you wonder when Lucas Slave might come in. I actually just watched his reaction on this error by Mayall. He's starting to stretch. In fact, his middle blocker, Michael Burke, came over and started giving him a little shoulder massage.
Good pass there. Mayall, boy, he's having trouble and no one covers.
And look for the substitution.
Yeah, Miles in the tank here.
Slabe starting to warm up. Oh, there's the trot.
Here he comes.
He's coming in.
Slabe is coming in. So Lucas Slabe off the bench.
And again, one-on-one, that's got to be advantage hitter. And Jaime Mayall looking so frustrated.
So Slabe is in at 9-6 down. They serve him. Perfect pass. And Alleman hits it on the line. John Alleman, nice shot. Alleman continues to spike well. He's got 15 kills to lead the Cougars.
A lot going on in Alleman's life this week, playing for a national championship. Also getting married 2 weeks from today. His fiancée Tiffany here in attendance. A lot of planning and excitement in the Alleman family.
Yeah, lots of BYU players married. 5 of them on this squad. 9-7, and over the top, Kevin Miller. Miller has been virtually unstoppable. Oh, there was a touch on that play. There had to be a touch, and they're going to fix this one.
And Dave Deutscher is hot. Yeah. You rarely see him get emotional.
No, there was a touch there. They'll see it. They couldn't have missed that one. That's the most obvious play in the history of the championships.
Now, the only players allowed to talk to the up official, Marvin Hall, are the captain. Watch the right hand right off of the hands of Michael Burke. That's a good call.
The BYU players, they're arguing, but their heart's not in it. That was an obvious call. 10-7. Set to serve is Solar. 18. Oh, what a block! Miller blocks Burke. So the BYU hitters being blocked. There was questions earlier. Could Lewis block the Cougars?
The answer, yes. An incredible one-on-one block by Miller.
Good pass. Alleman cuffs it. Martins, Miller on fire.
And you're starting to sense a huge adrenaline rush. Typically, I'd say, be careful, Lewis. You cannot look ahead too much, but if they thrive off of it and they use it to their advantage, why not get emotional this early?
Timeout to BYU. So the Lewis Flyers are closing in. Slowly but surely, working their way towards their first national title. The Pyramid. Right now, Lewis in command, leading 2-1 and 12-7 here in Game 4. Remember that no team from the Midwest has ever won an NCAA volleyball championship. Lewis attempting to be the third. Ohio State in 1977 and 2000 got to the final but couldn't convert. And it is now 12-8. Shank pass out of bounds, and a point for the Cougars.
Every time that BYU has sparked, it's been behind its serve, and Dave Dozier 0-5 against BYU. The difference, all of those matches were in Provo. This is the first time they've met in postseason play.
Last time they played against each other a couple of years ago, it went 5. The year that BYU won the national championship, 2001. Nice up there, 12-9. And Slabe hits it on the line. Don't forget, NHRA drag racing coming up immediately following volleyball. Summit Racing Nationals. We will show you that in its entirety. First, we got to finish up with live volleyball. Lewis up 2-1. If Lewis wins, it's over. If BYU wins, there will be a 5th and final game. So the Cougars are pumped up now. After being down 12-7, it is suddenly 12-11.
Yeah, huge 4-0 run, a great timeout by Coach Peterson to get his team back on track. They're serving tougher and better blocking team because of it.
Over to Slabe. Luca off speed. Tap shot, Pessoa read it. Slabe. And Slabe into the net. Luca challenging, he's saying what? Body, he's saying with the body, Luca. Luca not feeling those body punches. You know what I mean, Heather? 13-11. As Lewis will send back Kevin Miller. Let's see if Miller will go for the jumper.
And he has been an erratic server today.
Yep. Sure has. That's a pretty good one. Here comes Slabe. Tip. Pancake gets down. Marvin Hall says down.
And you got to get the Slabe meter on. You know, came in at 9-6. He's got 6 kills on just 9 swings. Talk about an impact player full of emotion. Sees the double block up. You got to love the deceptive tip. Amazing run since that timeout. Great coaching move. 5-1 since then.
Slabe off speed. 13-12 our score. LC Pessoa. Nice up. Pessoa. Slabe out of the back line. Digged by Stunts. Loreto down the line. Pessoa. Stunts has to bump. It's a good one. And the block. The Cougars tie it up at 13.
Check it out. This is Moreno. This is the setter right there. Normally on the right side of the court. This time gets stuck on the left side of the court. Now that'll fire anybody up. Totally out of position and still getting the point.
Who says setters can't block? 13-all. And Luca rips one out of bounds. So Lewis gets the lead back. Lewis playing in the Midwestern Intercollegiate Volleyball Association, the MIVA. BYU playing in the MPSF, the Mountain Pacific Sports Federation. Martins with the serve. Alleman, ball dug. And that's going to be a point. You have to maintain contact with the sports court. You cannot go up and over the top. That's to prevent injuries. Although I kind of liked it in the old days when you could run anywhere, fly, you know, you want to dive into the crowd.
You always want to see people diving into the crowd to save a ball.
14 up. Game 4.
Why do you serve the libero? Serve somebody else.
Nice block there. Stunts was on it. Rafael Paul, will they set him? They do. And he smokes one.
That time the Lewis block was drifting to the outside, and Paul, who was hot early, got cold in the middle. This time one-on-one. Gives so much credit to the setter for holding that middle block and getting Paul one-on-one with the Lewis blockers.
First lead of the game for the BYU Cougars. And nubbing it through was Mayer. So Mayer gets a kill.
BYU's plan was to take Mayer's angle away. He's recognizing that and continues to hit down the line.
15 all here at the Pyramid. Slabe with the pass. Here comes Paul inside. Ball dug, no. Rafael Paul
And BYU, every time they've run that combo play, it's a double quick. You can only run it if you have a really good pass. But every time they've done it, they've found success. 100% so far on a double quick.
Moreno set to serve.
You know, he has been coming close throughout this match to the point where BYU fans have yelled at him, watch the football.
Got to start back just a little. You know, in the olden days, you would have 2 tosses. About 5 or 6 years ago, they put in the 1 toss rule. So once you toss it up there, you're in deep trouble if you miss it. Right back, Elsey serves it out, tied at 16.
17 serving 16.
It's quickly become a match of serve and pass. The team that is serving and passing better is the one that's streaking.
Let's see if he goes high toss. Medium toss. He might have foot faulted. Very close to the line. Martins back set. And I think the ball hit into the antenna. It's out of bounds.
No, but they're overruling it.
The linesman is saying the ball went into the hands.
The question is, does it go into the antenna after the block or before the block?
Oh, that's close.
One more look. Watch the contact. Does it go into the hands and then off the antenna? I think it actually hits the antenna first.
Let's take a look at that first angle. This should show it in slow.
Yep, antenna
I tell you
first.
what, it looks like almost simultaneous there.
I think it went antenna, then onto the hands,
Very
then
close.
onto the antenna.
Yeah, so BYU gets it.
Good call.
Cougars up by 2. Rafael Paul, short serve again. Boy, he's making some hay. Bump set up there. And Mayer is over the line. So the Cougars now have their biggest lead of 3.
And I'm thinking about a timeout if I'm Coach Dave Dozier.
You are thinking right, Heather Cox. Timeout, Lewis. We are coming back. The Cougars are now the team on the roll.
Ladies and gentlemen, Coca-Cola brings you championship expressions. Coca-Cola brings you championship expressions. Coca-Cola, real.
The 2003 NCAA Championship Final has all the emotion you would want. Lewis leads the match 2-1. Lewis led 9-6 when Lucas Slabe came in. They also led 12-7, but BYU has fought back, and the Cougars now ahead 20-16. 4th game, we play the best 3 out of 5. Rafael Paul serving has been unbelievable. Another ace for Rafael. That's 5. He's got the shorty working, Heather.
Yeah, he's got 5 of the team's 9 aces. What he's doing so well is he's mixing it up. First going with the high heat, and then going with the little knuckleball, the little shorty, and catching stunts on his heels.
21-16 now. A 14-4 run.
Huge save. How about...
It's out. It's out. BYU, another point. So BYU putting all kinds of pressure on Dave Dozier and the Lewis Flyers, 22-16. Who can stop this run?
And you've got to make a change. Change your serve-receive pattern. At least give Paul a different look. Don't let him continue with this role, and I like it. They're taking time to wipe the floor. Just make Paul think about his serve a little bit more. I always did that. Untie the shoelace, tie it again. stall tactics always work.
A 6-point lead. If you're wondering, you're not allowed to block the serve anymore in volleyball, and Paul ends his scoring run. What a great serving run for Rafael Paul. There was a time when you could block the serve. Don't forget, coming up next, NHRA drag racing, the Summit Racing Nationals, and we were going to show you the entire program in its entirety. I guess that's redundant. We'll show you the whole thing. Luka Slave over the top, getting the kill. Luka from Slovenia, if you just joined us. And Luka has some heat.
And gets a huge approach. 7 kills, again going through the seam. So often, Lewis is not closing its block. That leaves a gap in between the two players to hit through.
Chris Gorney with the serve, and he wails it out of bounds. Lewis just thinking about getting momentum. Do the Flyers have a chance to come back in this one?
I definitely think they have a chance, but they have to go toe-to-toe. They cannot let BYU get a bigger lead. So hard to come back and rally scoring.
23-18, Jeff Soler serving. Shorty, they'll have to scoop it to Luka. And Luka hit it out, but the net was jangling. I don't know who got it. Someone hit the net. But it's a point for Lewis. The 34th hitting error for BYU.
It's amazing when you look at the numbers for game 4. Lewis hitting negative, more errors than kills. BYU just hovering right around the 0 mark.
Lewis trailing by 4 now. Soler launches one, and it's a point. If you're new to volleyball, you're a drag racing fan. If you serve the ball out now in volleyball, it's kind of like ping pong scoring. It costs you a point. If you spike it down, you get a point. It's point per play on every encounter. Serving a big part of volleyball. So is blocking. The object of the one side is to intercept the ball at the net when it's coming over. BYU in white, Lewis in red, 24-20.
BYU needs to pass a little bit better. I'd like to see them go to Burke more. They're relying a little too much on the outside attack right now.
Good serve down the line and an excellent pass by Pessoa. Slave cross court.
But I guess when Slave's putting up the numbers he is in game 4, you go to him until Lewis finds a way to stop him. Again, a huge hole in the block, just one blocker up. Elsie deciding to commit block on Michael Burke.
Slave 8 kills, 25-20. Nice pass, set left, down the line. Pretty good dig by Alleman, but Gustavo Mayer gets the kill. Yes, there are some foreign athletes on these 2 volleyball teams. There are 5 on each team. Some Brazilians, some Mexicans, some Puerto Ricans, a kid from Slovenia. Mayer and Barreto, the 2 top guns for Lewis. Just 5 kills in this game. That's been a problem. 25-21, and guessing right was Gustavo.
Nice communication by the Lewis blockers. Calling out, Carlos is a front row setter. 2 hitters, which means that you've got to block the setter. They are an offensive option. Great read by Mayer.
BYU does have another timeout left if they need it. Out of the back line, nobody up. What a fake. John Alleman buries it. The junior from Yorba Linda, California. He had 22 kills against Pepperdine in the West Coast final in the Mountain Pacific Sports Federation. And here comes Casey Patterson to serve. 26-22, BYU leading. Nice pass stunts. Quick set, yes. Quickening it up to Elsie.
And that was a very low set, so a quick arm swing to get it through the block.
The games are played to 30, the first 4 games, and this is game number 4. So that's where they're going. There's no cap on the scoring. You have to win by 2, however. Oh, that was double contact. Wow, the ball went right through the hands of Moreno, and they didn't call it. Moreno out of the back line, Slave. Oh, what a dig! Stunts tries to get there, and the Lewis players are going to complain here. And Jose Martins is going to say that was a missed call. The ball went right through the hands of Moreno.
And a good move. The minute Martins goes over to talk to Marvin Hall, Carlos Moreno, the other captain, does the same. Whenever one captain's over, you always want to make sure you're hearing the argument.
And Lewis takes its final timeout. Sometimes watch the ball just lodge net. That's double contact or lift or both.
Now, what I talked to Marvin Hall about is on the set, he says, I'll call it if I see a 1-2 contact, meaning you have to touch the ball with both hands at the same time. If he sees one hand touch it sooner than the other, he's going to call it. He says you can't just judge it on spin. If it's sideways, it's sometimes an indication that you didn't contact it all in the same motion, but boy, that was a tight no call.
One of the great players of all time, Cubby Jacobs, used to call that a mismangled ball. Now, talking about international players, Lewis, 6th listed. Victor Bird went home because he was homesick. BYU has 5. And you look at the international influence. One of a guy I respect, John Hastings from V-Ball Mag, said he thinks that there should be a limit of 2 foreign players on each team. What do you think about that suggestion?
You know, at this point, I disagree. I think men's volleyball needs the growth, needs the best players it can get. When you look at all of these international players, it's fun to know that down in San Juan, there's actually a contingent of BYU and Lewis players watching together. Hector Lebron is in Puerto Rico with Eduardo Quinones, a setter from Lewis. The two of them, Hector won a national championship with BYU in '99 and 2001. Now they're both playing on the same professional team down in San Juan. They are there with Ozzie Antonetti, also an outside hitter on that '99 BYU team, and Joaquin Acosta. And they've all said that they're wearing their BYU blue and their Lewis red, and I'm sure they are cheering as loud as they can right now.
Don't forget drag racing coming up next. Summit Racing Nationals. We say to our friends down in Puerto Rico, hola amigos, ¿cómo están? Are you enjoying live volleyball? BYU and Lewis, 27-23. BYU trying to wrap it up here. And that is point number 28.
And give the assist to the great jump serve by Carlos Moreno, causing the overpass.
You'll see drag racing in its entirety following volleyball, but it appears there is going to be one more game if BYU wins this one. That game, however, will be to 15, a little bit quicker than a 30-pointer. Fabiano is blocked. Rafael Paul got him. So the Puerto Rican stuffs the Brazilian, and the Cougars have their first game point. Carlos Moreno serving. It's a big serve, and it's over and out. Oh, he touched it. Let's see, did it go out of bounds? And that game's over. Game over. Let's see here. Let's see here. They may discuss it. And Marvin Hall saying, go back. Go back. Let's discuss it here.
Now the question is, did he touch it when, after it passed out of bounds of the antenna? There's no question that he touched it. But what the officials stated was that it was out of play, meaning it was outside of the antenna.
All right, the game is over. BYU won it. We are going to the 5th and final game. One more look at a controversial game point. Fifth and final game for the national championship coming up next.